A customer sent me a package full of DS parts of a shell swap that they did not complete. I have not looked into this package a single time. I don't know what's in here, but I do know that it's an extreme rate shell that they unfortunately could not complete, and then they just sent it to me. They donated it to the channel. Huge thanks. I'm super excited to get into this and to fix it. So it looks like all our parts are just kind of hanging out here. So that's the old shell, old stylus. It's actually in really nice shape, the stylus is. That's pretty cool. All right, so I'll sort out all these extreme rate pieces. We don't need this, please. Battery door, rubber pads to the side, button set, more button, old buttons, old screw. These are actually screws, old housing pieces. So all these shell pieces actually look fantastic. Here's our stylus, our old Nintendo diffuser. We can see it's like a frosted finish. Battery, more button. All right, and then the main goodies are in this bag here. I have waited forever to get into this, so I hope the tape doesn't leave behind a residue. You can see there's dead pixels on the bottom screen and the top here. Okay, I mean, hey. Better for it to be taped, obviously. Seems like pretty high quality tape. It is not leaving behind anything. I don't know the condition of the screen. I don't know the condition of the motherboard. So we will all discover together. Our bottom shell plate, so we can see they used a longer screw right there, but that's a-okay. 'Tis but a scratch. Hey, I'd rather the bottom screen be defective than the top. So let's disconnect that from the board, and then we can pop it into our bottom screen just to see what it looks like. Okay, alright, yellowed and dead pixels. Oh, it's been cracked, I see. You can see the line of where it's been cracked. It went up here and then over there. So now, top screen. Trying to figure out how I'm going to start to peel this tape with these gloves. That's some high quality printing from Extreme Rate. Nice. Some of the nicest tape I've ever seen, to be honest. It peels so easy and it doesn't leave anything. Alright, so here we have our top screen. I'll probably need to redo the adhesive because it's kind of everywhere at this point. But I do want to see if it works at least. So, speaker cables. Oh, that one just snapped in half. So I will need to solder a new speaker in. But let's get this top screen all lined up, see if it's straight. It's very cloudy right now, but that's because it still has a protective clear film over top, which I can't really get right now, unless the spudger can get. Oh, it can. Okay, cool. Very, very nice. Just a few pieces of dust, and it looks like it's only very slightly slanted. But let's test this top screen. So here is my bottom / top screen tester. So I'll put our dead pixel bottom screen in, or cracked rather, and then get our top screen plugged in. This is going to be the real test to see what we got here. Top screens are pretty much more valuable than the motherboard. I don't have a Wi-Fi chip plugged in. I'm so silly. Okay, we cooking. We cooking with beans. So it's just like the bottom screen. It has a little bit of a yellow tint, but besides that, it's pretty much perfect, it seems. Nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace the bottom screen with one that has a similar yellow tint to the top screen here, and then I'll let it sit on white screens for maybe like a week straight, like a whole week of white screens on max brightness, and that should take care of most of the yellow tint. That update will be within this video. But now, so we saw the top screen. It was a little off, like I mean, we can see here like the black. It's just a little off, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to continue with reassembly, and first we need to replace that speaker. All I have are DSs that are half taken apart, so I'm just going to finish it and then pull the speaker from this system. Also, one thing I do want to say, this lens is backwards. It's kind of hard to tell, especially if you don't, if you haven't done this, but like this is my job, but we can see there's like a texture to this side. It should be smooth, so this is like the part of the lens that should be facing the LCD and not us. But I mean, you can't even tell besides that. I don't think it makes a difference really. So here is going to be our replacement speaker, this one right here. So we'll heat up our soldering iron, get it soldered off and on. Alright, so we can see a speaker ring is right here. So we'll put it right here. This speaker already has its ring on from our replacement. Route that under there. We are missing a sticker, so I'm just going to pull it from here for now. Square sticker. Foam pad goes right here to give a cushion to the solder joints. So what I think I'm going to do about the top screen lens being slightly off and then having dust inside, because I don't like that, I think I'm going to replace it with Extreme Rate's black version, because I have a lot of those. And then I think I'm going to give the bottom border Nintendo's gloss silver color. That way it'll like mix and match, and I think that would be extremely cool. Mirror out the microphone cable properly. Okay, so now it's all ready to go. Put that down. Make sure the lens is straight. See how those lines, that's weird. Hopefully it's not broken. That red cable is trapped beneath the screen, which if one of these cables gets trapped beneath the screen, then it'll cause the right speaker to have static sounds, and then it'll pop when it turns off. So that's not very epic gamer. Now we have these rectangular stickers to get into place. Nintendo never places these straight, so they don't really need to be straight as long as they're there. They're doing the job. It's like if you look at this one, oh, these are actually pretty straight. It's missing one though. Alright, let's get this on and then we will visit that later. Okay, I like it. Now we can go in with this. Now the hinge cover I see is in here, and then where's the diffuser? This one looks good. The original Nintendo diffuser, because I do not like to use Extreme Rate's diffuser. You can't even see the light through the LED, and it's boring. We'll get a hinge in here. Make sure it's in the right position. Alright, now we can go in with our screws. So I'm going to be pulling the original screws out so that we can use the original Nintendo ones, because those are just better than Extreme Rates. So here we go. Alright, see how the hinge feels. Perfect. Now, what buttons am I going to use? Let me look online to see what theirs looks like. Red ABXY buttons and then black. We will go with that. Alright, now I always like to use Nintendo's original ABXY D-pad pads. D-pad? Rubber pads? D-pad pads. And then Extreme Rate's clear start and select pad, because that one is amazing. But the other ones just don't feel quite as nice in my opinion as Nintendo's, so why I always do that. Now we're almost ready to get the motherboard in place, and I am going to be modifying the power LEDs for the motherboard to help the system look cool and custom. Okay, now I do need a bottom LCD. So I have an old box full of old LCDs that I will test until I find a yellow one that matches. This one looks about right, but it looks maybe a little too yellow. An old box full of old LCDs that I will test until I find a yellow one that matches. I mean, doesn't even look bad.
2,000 years later.
I think we're going to go with this one. This one looked pretty dang good. It looks mostly white. That's insane. So let me pair this with our top screen and see what we have. First, I'm going to clean the button contacts. Now we can get it all plugged in, and I'll plug the top screen in. Battery's charged. Turns on. I don't like the contrast between the yellow top and the mostly white bottom, so I'm going to pop one of these in and see if it matches better. Because even after sitting for a week, the tint of the screen itself isn't going to change, only the yellowness of the tint. So you need to make sure that the screens, like, you know, look similar. That's a little better, but now it's like a little too yellow. Aha! Perfect. Alright, so this is the LCD we will use. Just a little bit of trial and error. So now with this LCD, we will install a brand new digitizer. There's some dust in this, so try to get it off. Now we will peel this. Dust fell on our screen. There we go. So that'll be good. Get it installed. And then I am going to screw in the motherboard, get a battery on, and fully test it to make sure the motherboard works. And once I know it's fully working, I will modify the power LED. Yellow screens, but works nice. So I didn't touch anything, and it just fast forwarded to the next menu. Oh. Well, B is getting pressed down constantly. That would probably have something to do with it, guys. I'm lazy. I don't want to take the other screw of the motherboard out, so I'm struggling to do it all in here. There we go. Touch screen works. The face buttons work. Let's test the shoulder buttons and cartridge reader. The game in. Does R work? It did the third click. Does L work? It read the game. Okay, it read it a little too well. Let's see if it'll read a GBA game then. We're at a GBA game, so okay, it can read games. R might need cleaned. Does L need fixed? L is good. Let's test R again. It might have just been a weird instance. Okay. I'll clean R. Other than that, this board is pretty much all good, and I will get to modifying. So what I'm going to do with the board, I'm going to make the green power LED white. Might be a little silly since the screens on this DS are yellow, but I'm hoping to get rid of most of that yellow tint. We will see. So what I'm doing right now, I'm scraping off all of the dirt and grime that has built up within the shoulder button over the years, and that's what's making it not work. So after scraping it all off, scraping it clean, it should work like new. Magnet and magnetic free tweezers, and now drop it right in place. Still clicks wonderfully. Drop our gummy piece back in, close the flap, and then pinch it shut. So now it should work like new. So now I'm going to disassemble the board once again so that I can modify the power LED. FBI, open up! I'm going to leave the low power LED red and the charging orange because the red I think will match the buttons, which is pretty cool. And the white will just match the gray and black theme of the DS, in my opinion.
Hi, how are you?
Alright, we'll see if it works. Works well. So now I can get bottom screen back in. Now this Wi-Fi cable is pretty bent up, so it might be really difficult to get it underneath the cartridge port here. Do my best to straighten it out. I may have wanted to replace it just because it makes installation a lot harder if the cable is already bent and weak. There we go, okay. We made it, guys! We made it! Get the Wi-Fi chip plugged in, and then we can get the cable plugged into the... never mind. I'm going to use the dark gray shoulder buttons. And for L, I'm going to do what I always do with extreme rate shells, because sometimes, for some reason, they stick. It's quite common for L to stick on extreme rate shells, so I cut them right along here every time. So now we're left with like a kind of jagged edge, so I like to use my Dremel to sand it down. Alright, so we can come in here, get our metal rods in place for the shoulder buttons, and then I'll get R in, but before I get L in, we will prep the bottom plate for assembly. Okay, so there's that. Now we can come in with our bottom shell plate here. So this is not screwed in properly. It has a notch, and we can see right here it's above the notch, and we can see there's light seeping through. It needs to be under the notch like that. Remove that piece of tape from shipping. So now we got one thing left to do for the bottom plate. We just got to get this little rectangle in here. Push it in. Now I like to use one of these rectangles to hold it in place, just like that. Otherwise it can slip out, which wouldn't be cool. So now we can take L and get L in place. But since we've trimmed it, it's just going to want to spring right back up, which is good. It's what we want because it's what'll make it work and not be stuck. Oh, geez. Our tape dispenser did not do its job. Drop that right in place. Wow, that is strong, dude. It's pushing right against my tape dispenser. Alright, well, I need to hold a hand on it then. That's a little weird. Oh no, they taped over the volume port. Oh my gosh, it got popped out. So volume down, power down, so that'll be ready to be assembled. And now, with this again. Oh, gee. Alright. They click perfectly. So see, even though we trimmed L, it works flawlessly, just like this one. Sometimes it can stick up higher than normal, but it's still a-okay because that's so much better than it not working at all. Now we can get these screws in. Alright, there we have it. Put the battery in, put the battery door on, special battery door screw. Now we have these rubber pads. I will use the light gray. Look at that white LED, man. That looks awesome. Buttons feel fantastic. Same for the shoulder buttons. And originally, I did say that I would redo the top screen, but it's totally fine. And you can even still see a sliver of black on the top. So it's the screen, even though it's not perfectly center, like that's a lot more thick than that. And that's a little thicker than that. Those lines, it's still perfectly fine, you know. So I am gonna leave it. And dust, while yes, there's a little bit of dust in there, for one, you can't, like, I can't even find any dust right now. Maybe if you're like walking in Pokemon or in a game, like in a Mario game, it'd be different. But if you can't see it against a white screen, you typically never see it against colored screens, even if they're in motion, like in Pokemon, when you're just walking on a bicycle or something. And another reason why I don't want to change this out is because our man did that, man. This was his DS. He did that, and you know, it looks fantastic. It's perfectly functional, and I want to leave it the way that he made it, because in the end, this was his shell swap, and I don't want to, you know, if I truly don't need to like fix, then why would I? Because it was his. He did it, and he should be proud of the way that he did it, because this is perfect. This is truly absolutely perfect. I do not need to change the border. I don't need to get the dust out. I don't need to do any of that. Good job on the shell swap. I'm sorry it didn't go as planned, but if you're watching this, I hope you're happy with how it turned out. Amazing job. Thanks for sending it to me, especially. That was absolutely amazing. I never expect donations, and it is extremely, extremely appreciated. So you are amazing. Thank you for that. And there's one thing left to do. So if we go into Picto Chat and then go to turn off the device, we can see that box. It might be difficult to show on camera, but it's like flickering really bad in person. The camera doesn't show it at all, but it's flickering. So we got to adjust the voltage for the screen. And this one right here is a potentiometer for the bottom screen. I like to use a Phillips head screwdriver and then just turn it one way or the other, so it's making it worse. So I was the wrong way, and then bam. I wish you could see that on camera because it's pretty cool to see, but that's all good. So now let's get these 4 screws in for the top, and then we will get the rubber pads on and the Extreme Rate serial number sticker for the bottom of the device. I'm using the black rubber pads for here because I think the contrast is nice. Man, I'm so happy with this. Again, thank you so much for sending this DS to me. Working as originally intended, and all I needed to do really was to add a bottom LCD. And I had to fix the R shoulder button a little bit. Let's test it out. Works with every click no matter where I press. And we got our stylus here. I was going to calibrate the touchscreen. Doesn't need it right now though, but still. And now let's get the Extreme Rate sticker on. Bam, there we go. That's nice and straight. Let's get it all cleaned up. There's some smudges. Here we have it, guys. This is our DS all done and clean. Look at that white LED. This thing is so, so cool. We'll get these yellow screens taken care of, or as taken care of as we possibly can. We'll load it, and then I'm going to click it so I'm ready to take it out. And then bam, remove it, take it out. So we can see it's left on white screens, and we put it on max brightness. You need it to be on max brightness. And I'll close it. And as we can see, it doesn't go into sleep mode, and the screens are always on. It's really hard to see, but they are always on. It never goes into sleep mode. So you can close the DS like this and put it up to a charger for a literal week straight. And every day I'll open it and take a picture, and we'll see how it looks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will update every single day with a picture. I don't know though. You'll know in 10 seconds. I will not. Day 2, bottom screen is still a bit yellow, top screen is still slightly yellow. It's still obviously a little yellow, but I think it's getting a lot better than what it was. I'm hoping this will get a bit better because, I mean, I was the one who installed this because I thought that it matched that one closely, but we'll see. Looking more or less the same. A little bit better, for sure. Day 6, we only have one more day after this. Whoopsies. It's looking quite better. We got one more day to go. All right, this is the 7th day. Today it has been a week. I apologize for my AC in the background, but this is it. So the bottom screen, definitely yellow. It's still yellow, but it's a lot better than it was originally. And overall, I don't think you're really going to see the yellowing. It's really only at the corners here and a little bit right there. But all in all, I'm extremely happy with this DS. I hope you like this DS as much as I do. Thanks a ton for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.